What's up, everyone? We have some preseason, I think it's technically week 3, but game 2 for our it's preseason schedules are weird. We'll talk about it. Hey, everyone, it is Josh here from No Butts About It. Over there is Chus on my screen. I think it's backwards because it's reversed. Like if I point that way, to me, I'm pointing at you. Out here,
Yeah,
in there, I'm not pointing at you, so I got to point.
yeah. Because if I point this way on my screen, it's pointing to you.
Really? Oh, it's reversed.
Yeah, I'm pointing.
So
to
I'm
you.
over there for you.
Yeah, because if I point this way, I'm pointing at
So that's not you.
the chat log. No,
Okay.
no,
Well,
I don't know what that is. There's nothing on that side. The far left screen has nothing on our platform. Over
intriguing.
Here. Yeah. So
Okay. Well, we're gonna talk about preseason football, but first, let's just address the elephant in the room. Jesse James Taylor. He was supposed to come on. We had a whole show planned. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of great stuff. Been talking with him the last 2 weeks, getting this scheduled, and we're all ready to go today. I double checked this morning, and then he just had a last minute family emergency kind of pop up, and so he will be on the show eventually. That is going to happen. We will get him on. But due to that family emergency, he was not able to come on today. We do hope everything works out well for him. But we didn't clickbait you or anything.
no, it's gonna come. It's gonna happen. It's just things happen in life, and we'll get him on the show soon enough. Maybe next week or in a couple of weeks or so. But yeah, it's definitely gonna happen. It's just like I said, this happens just in the real world too. I mean, meetings, scheduling, everything else just
happens.
work out.
It happens.
It doesn't just happen on podcasts and shows and YouTube channels. It also happens in the real world. So we can relate to all of you out there as well. I'm sure you can relate to us.
Yes, we have a plan. But if today's show is a little bit shorter, that's why. We're going to try to still
I think we can fill it with yapping. I think we can fill it with a lot of yapping. I don't know about you, but I think we can.
We had a 40-minute interview planned, but that's okay. We're going to fill it. We're just going to talk. I mean, we do have big news out in the world of entertainment. And I know this is huge. It's kind of crossed over into the NFL a little bit. We got Taylor Swift. I mean, everyone knows what's going on with Taylor Swift. She's everywhere right now. Chus's favorite person.
What is she doing?
She is releasing a brand new album. She announced it at 12:12 yesterday morning on her website.
Okay.
12 a.m.
Okay.
There's a little countdown thing, and I believe later today at 7 o'clock she will be on the New Heights podcast with Jason Kelsey and his lesser-known brother Travis.
I actually had no idea that any of that was happening, so that's actually news to me. So
we don't have the album art yet.
I can't say that I know anything about this, to be honest.
The album is
nothing against it. I'm just surprised.
The album is called "Life of a Showgirl."
Great.
So it's about
awesome.
Chus.
Is it a country album? Nah, that's a stupid question.
Probably not.
Yeah, that's a stupid question.
My sister's birthday is August 19th, so I did pre-order it for her. It will be shipped October 13th. So we got to, Chus, you're going to have to wait a few months. I know you're trying to put on the tough guy act here, but I can tell that you're really
it's nothing against her. It's just I've never really listened to her music. I'm just surprised I didn't hear about it from anybody. I have a lot of Swifties that I follow on Instagram and other social media platforms. I'm just surprised nobody mentioned it anywhere. Maybe I missed it or maybe I read it and I just didn't see it. But you're like, big entertainment news. And I'm like, I have no idea what he's talking about. Because nothing big is happening right now. I feel like in the entertainment industry, I guess, other than that. But I guess I'm out of the loop. I guess I feel bad. Sorry, guys. Sorry to disappoint. I'm not really big Swiftie,
I'm still waiting for, it's my understanding it probably won't happen, but I'm still waiting for the remastered version of Teardrops on My Guitar. I love that song, and I'm not afraid to admit it. If you make fun of me in the comments, that's fine. I don't care. I don't.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
Bob.
well, again, all right. Have you listened to Taylor Swift before, Josh? Because I genuinely have only heard like the radio songs. So like I have,
So,
because there's a couple of my friends that there's this one friend of mine that I talk to pretty regularly. That's like, if you just gave Taylor a listen, you'd probably end up liking it. And this dude is like a huge Drake fan, listens to a ton of rap, and I'm like, I guess Taylor Swift is like his. Secret interest, like he's intrigued by it, but he doesn't like to openly tell people. But he was just telling me about it, and I've never gone and actually listened to anything Taylor Swift related. So
let's pull up the Taylor Swift discography. So
okay.
all Swifties, if you're listening to this, then just know that I probably going to say something wrong, and don't crucify us. Orchard Poets Department. I never really listened to that. None of the songs really interested me. I've heard a few of them, but like nothing that really ever was like I need to listen to this album. 1989. Obviously, I heard like Bad Blood, Shake It Off, Blank Space, but I don't think I've ever listened to that album either. Speak Now. I like that album. That was a good album. Never listened to Midnights. Just sitting here going through the.
I just don't know any of this. Like I don't.
I
Did you
hear.
listen to any?
Okay. I've listened to Anti-Hero off of Midnights. Red. I know some songs off Red. I Knew You Were Trouble. 22. Like, I mean, I'm not saying I'm a big fan or anything. Fearless is a bop. Love Story is a bop. White Horse bop. You Belong with Me bop. Like she's got some songs where like I definitely
I'm not
understand
saying
the
that
hype.
she doesn't. I just, I other than like the radio songs, I just don't really know anything about it. That's all.
Reputation's got some songs I like.
The only song that like just is engraved in my head always is the song from like 2011 or 12 or maybe earlier than that. It's with Ed Sheeran. It's called like "What Everything Has Changed."
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's the only song that I like. I mean, obviously, I know a lot of the other ones, like you mentioned. I think of. Sorry, I know this is bad, but I think of the goat screaming with the "I know you were trouble," or like "I knew you were trouble." So I think about that too. But like, I mean, she has good songs. I just don't listen to the radio much anymore, so I haven't heard any of the new stuff.
Her debut album is still my favorite though. Like I know that might
Like
not
the
be
purple one.
No, like the one that's just called Taylor Swift from 2005.
Isn't that like a country album?
Yeah. It's got mainly just because it has Teardrops on My Guitar on it. Like, I'm not even going to lie. That song is amazing. I love it. Picture to Burn is on there. Tim McGraw. Like, it's just solid album. I like it. But it's okay. If you don't like Taylor Swift. And I get, like, I think also a lot of her themes aren't really written for, like, 20-year-old guys to listen to.
No,
it's like, really, people say her songs all sound the same, and they say other artists sound the same, and then we would be like Morgan Wallen, Zach Bryan, we'd be like their songs don't all sound the same, but I mean,
they're all different. You ever listen to Miami?
I hate that song. I hate Miami with them. I like Morgan Wallen. I hate Miami with a burning passion.
Miami.
No, don't even. I'm gonna kick you out of the show. Okay, so this is the solo show
from Miami.
No, get out of here. If you're gonna do that, listen to Keith Whitley's Miami.
Yeah, I know.
The real version.
Shout out. And then it became a rap song.
Yeah, and then
Rick Ross and Lil Wayne.
Yeah, Country Central gave it a 0. They gave the original Miami a 0.5, and they gave the rap version a 0. So, good reason. Now that we've alienated our entire audience by talking about Taylor Swift for 10 minutes, let's move on to football.
Yeah, what's going on in the news, Josh? Please enlighten me and fulfill my brain's desire to know football preseason knowledge.
Well, Chus, we have a contract extension, pretty notable one, and I think big for fantasy football as well.
Dynasty or just normal fantasy?
Probably both. He's still a pretty young player. He might be on some dynasty teams, but
Okay.
Mr. James Cook with the
Yeah.
Buffalo Bills.
That is a big signing.
He has gotten his extension. He's locked in 4 years, 48 million with 30 million guaranteed. So what is your initial reaction, Chus, to this James Cook extension?
I honestly think it's a pretty solid extension. How old is he? Do we have an age on him? I know he's not like crazy old, but I believe
we talked to our producer, get an age. He's actually 25.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably between 24 and 26. Not super old, definitely not super young either. It's kind of that middle in between years. And I think he showed a lot last year. I had him on a fantasy team. So for since we were talking about fantasy players and whatnot, I think his production was very good. He was a good player, a good option for Josh Allen for the offense last season for the Bills. And as they keep pushing closer and closer to just finally overcoming the Kansas City Chiefs, I think that James Cook is definitely a piece that they're going to want to run with for the next couple of years. So this extension, I think, is really big. I'm glad that they got him locked down. They don't have to worry about trying to get another running back in the offseason or anything like that, or drafting new ones and whatnot. I think James Cook, at the end of the day, is a very solid back. So I think it was a good move by Buffalo.
Yeah, James Cook. So he tied for the lead last season for most rushing touchdowns. He had 16 rushing touchdowns alongside Lions, Jahmyr Gibbs, and the Ravens, Derrick Henry. So put up a great year. And he said, hey, I'm going to do more of that. You want me to do more of that? Let's get me a contract extension. Let's lock this in now. Now, hopefully he continues to have that similar type of performance. Obviously, his kind of first 2 years, the Bills had a huge offense. They had so many weapons. And then last season, we really kind of talked about how they lost a lot of people. They lost Stephon Diggs, and they were relying more on Khalil Shakir. They were relying on Keon Coleman, their rookie wide receiver at the time. And so James Cook had to step up, and he did. And so now, will James Cook be able to continue to step up? Will he be able to continue to live up to that hype? And I don't see any reason why he wouldn't be able to. I'm not saying this like, oh yeah, he's definitely going to fall off now after having the contract. But I think this is a good signing. He doesn't have a ton of wear and tear on him. He's a young guy. He has a good pedigree. His older brother Dalvin obviously did great things in the NFL for a while. Still in the NFL, but has regressed a little bit. Dalvin had tweeted that he wanted James to get 15 to 20 million a year. James didn't end up getting that, but he's staying in Buffalo, which is what I think he wanted ultimately. And he's a top 5 highest paid player on the Bills roster, not named Josh Allen. Right. So it's good that they got this locked in. I think Bills fans will be happy with this. He's one of the better pass catching running backs as well. I mean, a lot of times when we're talking about running backs, we're not necessarily always thinking about their pass catching ability, but having that escape valve out of the back for Josh Allen, that's big. Especially with some of these defenses that the Bills will play this season, and assuming they make the playoffs as well, that can be a big help. So having that run game, you've got that dual weapon with Josh Allen and James Cook both possibly running. And then even when it is a pass, you still have James Cook as a weapon in the passing game. I really like this signing. Where would you say James Cook lands on your fantasy kind of drafting? Just regular standard PBR.
I think he's probably gonna end up, depending on how deep your league is, he's probably gonna end up being a lot of teams running back 1, believe it or not. I think in shorter leagues, I think he'll probably end up being a running back 2 with running back 1 upside. The thing with James Cook is that obviously you have big like running backs that are going to have a lot higher production, such as Saquon Barkley or Christian McCaffrey, and so a lot of them are going to be your solidified running back 1s. But I think with from my understanding, from what I see with James Cook, I think he is probably a running back 2 slot, but he has a lot of upside for a running back 1 position. And in most PPR leagues, he's probably going to end up being a running back 1, just depending on the schemes and such you go. Because imagine it, like imagine you're in a 12-person league. There's no way that there are a lot of like probably it's going to be like at least 5 people in your PPR league are probably going to go and draft a running back, which will knock off the top 5 running backs. And James Cook probably falls within the top 10. So he's probably, if somebody doesn't get like back-to-back picks, like a 12 and 13 and drafts 2 running backs, I imagine James Cook would probably end up being somebody's running back number 1. So worth noting, especially since drafts are coming up and such. And he's on a heavy offensive production team. So it's one thing whenever you're looking at, like a Travis Etienne or something, and in a not as productive offense, when you look at the Bills, it's very productive, So, but I mean, you're definitely not a heavy hitter, but I think his position rank last year finished in like 5 or 6, maybe 8 at the lowest I saw him at. So like he had a very high production last year. So I imagine he'll probably finish somewhere in that range again, somewhere in the top 10.
Do we have any concerns about Ray Davis coming in and maybe stealing some snaps? They used James Cook a lot last year. I think I read he was on the field for 45% of snaps last season. So
I think Ray Davis would be more of a stash for dynasty leagues, just because I think with Ray Davis, he would be one of those players that if James Cook did go down, I mean, I believe, I don't know if it was last season. It might have been last season. I think it was, there was a season where James Cook went down and a couple of guys went in to replace him. And that's when they actually use other running backs. I don't really expect Ray Davis to really steal too much thunder from James Cook. James Cook is the guy. Ray Davis will go out for plays, of course, but I don't think he's going to be some David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs connection like they have over in Detroit or maybe even in LA when we see what happens with Najee and Hampton. So I think it'll be worth noting to stash Davis on your bench in the event that Cook gets hurt or for some reason in like 2 years gets traded. But I don't think it's anything of a concern.
Okay, well, there you have it. Let us know what you think about the James Cook extension down below. Are you going to be drafting him in fantasy? He's going to be one of your targets. Let us know down below. I know I'm going to be targeting him. So
yeah, I probably will too. I've got some drafts I got to set after our show today, so I got to figure out when we're going to be drafting.
What we got going on with the Steelers? We're supposed to talk about the Steelers today with Jesse, but as I said at the top of the show, that kind of fell through a little bit. But any news coming out of Pittsburgh?
Well, so funny enough, I know you wanted me to mention this. I went to training camp, Steelers training camp on Monday. So today is Wednesday, August 13th. Went 2 days ago, and I had the really great opportunity of meeting a couple players, most notably Mason Rudolph. Got to get a cool picture with him on the field, as well as Alex Highsmith. So great guys.
Our producer's working on pulling up those photos right now.
Yes, please pull up the photo. Yeah, I love that. But yeah, it's so I got to go see training camp. I got to watch my own viewpoint of it. It was really interesting just seeing what they were running and what kind of plays they were looking to do and some of the drills and whatnot. But I didn't really get to see too much of the defense. It was a lot of the offense this go around. Some defense, obviously. Is this the picture? Is it? Yeah, there's me and Alex Highsmith. Good guy, very good guy. Glad that I got a picture with him. Yeah,
nice guy.
Yeah, nice guy. They all seemed very tired. I mean, it was also like 90 degrees and they're wearing pads. But yeah, Mason also very nice guy. You can see how tall he is. I mean, I'm like 5'8" and a quarter, probably 5'8" and a half, maybe on a good day. And he is still like almost a full head up taller than me. Big man, big guy, big money Mace right there. So
I also want to talk about like when I was downloading this photo, and I don't know if people will be able to see this, but the kid behind you,
yeah,
he's just like swagged up.
He's awesome.
He steals the show. The sunglasses, the football.
He's waiting to get his football signed. I was gonna say, yeah.
I think the boy behind him might be in trouble with his girlfriend, I presume. But that little dude, he's chilling.
I don't really know what's going on in that background of that picture, to be honest. I don't know. It looks like they're just talking, to be honest. I don't even remember seeing those two people, to be honest. I remember the little kid behind me, but I don't remember the couple.
That little kid looks awesome. He looks like, I like that there's no like parent nearby. He just
Yeah, I mean, I think they
bro
were.
skipped out of daycare and said, "I'm going to the Steelers training camp."
No, I can confirm, despite what the picture says, that he did have a parent nearby. So I just don't know if she's in the picture. She might be behind my shoulder if you look hard enough. But yeah. So I went to training camp on Monday. Very awesome opportunity to do that. But one of the things with Monday was that watching the quarterbacks play and such was very, very fascinating. One of the things that concerns me is, like among a lot of other Steelers fans, is a little bit of the running backs right now, because we had a lot of high hopes with Caleb Johnson, and his first preseason game against the Jaguars, he didn't look too hot. A lot of people were calling him the second coming of Najee Harris, so which is not a good look for the next 4 years. And at in some of the drills, he kind of looked questionable, but it's hard to tell, just because, I mean, you're a rookie, you're just getting yourself acclimated to the NFL, so it's kind of hard to pinpoint something so drastic to say, oh, he's just Najee Harris 2.0 when it's just been one game. That's like me being like, I mean, I put in our text channel with me, Josh, Stan, and Alvarado. I said that, and I quote, and it's still funny, that our Steelers second and third strings stopped the Jacksonville Jaguars first strings and held them to a field goal. And I just still thought that was really funny. But yeah, so I mean, it's preseason. Weird things like that happen. Do I expect the Jacksonville Jaguars to be bad? Not necessarily, but I don't think they're going to be that, like, I don't think they're going to look like that first drive, more or less, against like the second and third string Steelers, their offense. But what I'm getting at is that seeing camp and stuff, the quarterbacks and whatnot, didn't get to really see too much of Will Howard because he's hurt. But Aaron Rodgers looks good. It's always fun to watch him air out some passes. Mason Rudolph is also looking really good too. Skylar Thompson, he's doing solid. So I think it's nice to see what our quarterbacks have been doing. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers didn't play in the Jacksonville Jaguars preseason game, but Mason had a touchdown, and then Skylar Thompson played the rest of the game and had like crazy numbers. Granted, preseason game, obviously, but I mean, bro popped off like 200 plus passing yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, nothing like that. I think it was like a 22 of 28 game too. I mean, he was just lighting it up, which is crazy because like a lot of people weren't expecting him to climb the chart. And I still don't imagine he will really make the 53-man roster with the Steelers, not because I wouldn't want him to, but the problem is our quarterbacks are most likely going to be, at least for this season, Rodgers, Rudolph, then Howard. I can't see Howard now, since he's going to miss the entire preseason, him jumping Mason. So Mason will be 2, and then Howard would be 3, and Skylar Thompson will probably be practice squad, which I imagine, with all this quarterback talk that we've been talking about with some of these other teams, I imagine he'll probably have a spot possibly somewhere else, depending on what some of these quarterback rooms look like. So
what, I don't know how much you paid attention to this, but Rodgers, I mean, we've heard reports of him kind of helping out these younger guys. Was that something you were able to witness at camp when you were like, did you see him talking to the younger guys a lot, kind of helping on the sidelines?
So where I was stationed, it was kind of hard to tell, just because the quarterbacks and whatnot were like way further down the field. But I did see him walk up to the wide receivers at one point, which was really cool because he was like talking to them, which would have included DK and Robert Woods, and then the young guys like Roman Wilson or even Calvin Austin, if you want to consider him young, even though he's a little older. He was talking to all those guys because we were closer to the wide receiver drills and running backs at one point, but they kind of shifted around and whatnot. But a lot of the times the quarterbacks were usually down at the other end of the field. But I did see Rodgers go up talking to the receivers and whatnot. So he obviously cares about wanting to build some sort of chemistry and relationship with these guys. And I imagine it will be. It's pretty solid. He like I said, he was looking solid in some of the drills and whatnot that they were doing with the wide receivers as well. I think it's going to be interesting, though. Roman Wilson does, in fact, exist. I saw him on the sideline drinking water as well as practicing. He does exist, Steelers fans. I'm excited to see him probably mold into a wide receiver 2-3, just because I haven't heard anything about getting another wide receiver 2. But one of the things that a lot of people have been saying on Steelers radio and whatnot is that maybe Robert Woods would be the outside guy looking in for this team, which is kind of interesting considering he's like that veteran presence, but he's getting older. Yeah, but he's getting quite outperformed by a lot of the younger guys. So, which we'll see, I guess. See how that goes. I mean, still early.
So what are you looking at? You guys play the Buccaneers, I believe, this Saturday, 7 p.m.
Yep.
What are you looking at during this preseason game? Is it Caleb Johnson? You just want to see more of him, or what will you be paying attention to?
Well, I mean, the thing with this is one of the biggest bummers of this entire preseason was not getting to watch Will Howard play. I mean, I really wanted to see what he was going to be like because there was so much hype around him, and then him fracturing his finger puts him out the entire preseason. So we will probably never watch him actually play snaps until next year, unless some crazy injury storyline happens this year. But I think Caleb Johnson will be something I wanna watch. I don't know who's all starting yet at the end of the week. I know they're having some sort of dual practice sometime either today or tomorrow with the Buccaneers. It's closed practice, so obviously, other than media, I don't imagine anybody's going to be there. Maybe wives and family, but I don't really think no general public will be there. But I think for Saturday, Caleb Johnson's definitely somebody I want to watch, but I'm curious to see if, since it's the only home preseason game for the Steelers this season, if they stick in some of the starters for a couple reps, do they put in Aaron Rodgers to add to the hype? What do they do more or less? And they've done it before where they'll stick in some sort of legendary, for example, last year they put in Kenny Pickett and they had all the starters play one quarter or literally one drive, and then that was it. And then they're like, all right, we're done. Just to get the Steelers fans hyped up during the preseason. So if Aaron Rodgers goes in, it would be kind of cool to see him throw the ball to DK Metcalf or just to see what we got. But I mean, I think the one thing I kind of like to watch the most is the defense. I think the defense is always very fascinating just because our defense is so good. And they just continue every year to get good. And these defensive pieces that we just keep getting are just unbelievable. So it's fun to watch your Jack Sawyers and your young guys or your Beanie Bishops and these guys that you're not thinking of that are just thriving in the environment against the Buccaneers. So I'll just be kind of looking out for guys that we're not really paying attention to, and also kind of seeing the running back field too, because obviously we know what to expect with Jaylen Warren. Caleb Johnson didn't have a really good first preseason game, but it's his first one. And then maybe Kenneth Gainwell, as well as our other running back that I can't think of his name right now. But we've got a couple young guys that I would love to see what they do with him. But yeah, just kind of monitoring everything. I don't really think there's a really specific position or anything that I'm really watching for. So
okay. Well, let's talk about the Indianapolis Colts real quick here. So
Indianapolis Colts, man.
Anthony Richardson, what a guy. And this Daniel Jones is getting the start this week. Let's see, who do they play? I want to make sure I get it right. They play the Colts Saturday at 1 p.m. Or they play the Packers Saturday at 1 p.m. Excuse me.
Colts versus Colts.
Be quite the showdown. So Anthony Richardson dislocated his pinky against the Ravens. And, he hasn't really – I don't think he started practicing yet. Maybe he started today or yesterday. But they've been dealing with that soreness. And, that sounds like an injury that, you're kind of dude, it's a dislocated pinky. And I've dislocated things before. But I can imagine that soreness is kind of annoying and probably throbbing, especially on your throwing hand in football. But at the same time, I kind of want to say man up, because you have a reputation, man. You have a reputation of pulling yourself out of games when you're tired. You have this reputation that you got to beat. So find a way to beat it then. And maybe it's the trainers holding him out. I don't know. But this Colts quarterback competition is quickly becoming a race for the bottom, it feels like. There was a list, I believe it was one of the Athletic reporters put out a list of the top 32 quarterbacks in the NFL and ranked them all. And Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson were in the bottom 5 of the. Wow. It was a list of all the potential starters this season, maybe. But Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson were at the bottom 5, and these are who were racing for Indianapolis to get the start. I just, Daniel Jones, he didn't look great in the first preseason game. He didn't look terrible, but he didn't look great.
You don't think he's going to be like the you don't think he'll be the future of Indianapolis?
Daniel Jones?
Yeah.
No. I think we're closer to seeing Riley Leonard or Arch Manning be the future of Indianapolis than we are to seeing Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson be.
Arch Manning? That's quite the pull.
Yeah, that's where we're at.
Wow.
Or Garrett Nussmeier or Carson Beck. I think we're closer to seeing any of those guys being the starting quarterback long term in Indianapolis.
I'm surprised with Anthony Richardson, though. I mean, like, what happened? I mean, the first 2 games in 2023 he looked great. Obviously, he had his slump last year, but like,
he's not consistent.
Maybe, I don't know. Those first 2 games in 2023 looked pretty damn consistent.
Yeah, those first 2 games. And what have we been saying since then?
Well, he got hurt
a lot.
Big arm injury or whatever it was. I don't remember if it was shoulder or what he did, but he got hurt for a while.
It's just we haven't been saying, and I don't want to like just beat the crap out of him like as a person because he seems like a good person, but we're talking about a franchise that is used to having fantastic quarterbacks. It went from Peyton Manning to Andrew Luck, who, I mean, they kind of wasted Andrew Luck, unfortunately.
Right.
But now they're kind of in the same position that the Steelers are in a lot of ways.
In some, yeah, definitely in some ways.
I mean, the Steelers went from Ben Roethlisberger, and then they've had, obviously, Hall of Fame quarterbacks before that. But they went from Ben Roethlisberger, and now they're trying to find their next guy. And they thought they found it in Kenny Pickett. Like the Colts thought they found it in Anthony Richardson. And now they're just kind of trying to figure out who is it going to be. I don't think it's Anthony. I don't think he's developing properly. I don't think he's great upside, but we've been talking about his upside for going into 3 seasons now.
I feel like his story is kind of similar to a Justin Fields type story where it's like, oh, you're waiting for that breakout and it's just never happening. It's just like, when is that breakout going to happen? You know?
Right. I mean,
because that's what a lot of people were like, oh, Justin Fields is going to break out with the Bears this year. And then he just like never did. And then he went to the Steelers and he looked like a different quarterback. And then, I mean, they still benched him, but like, could he still have that fire in New York? I mean, we're going to see. So
I don't feel like we're getting the best out of this Colts offense right now with Anthony Richardson or Daniel Jones being the quarterback. You have Jonathan Taylor. You have Michael Pittman Jr. You have Tyler Warren now. You're going to have Tyler Warren on a rookie contract. How much of that rookie contract are you going to waste on quarterbacks who can't get him the ball?
Right.
So, and then this defense is a whole nother. It's already beat up. It's already injured. Their 3rd round pick is out for the season. They've got starters who are possibly out for the season. Defensive line, I have no idea what is going to happen with that. But it's just they're not even setting. Anthony isn't setting the Colts up for success, but also the Colts aren't setting Anthony up for success right now.
Probably not. Yeah.
I just don't see this as a good situation for him. That being said, what I'm looking for in this preseason game, will Anthony play? I don't know. Daniel Jones will get the start. I'd like to see Daniel Jones improve. I'd like to see a better performance out of him.
Dimes.
I'd like to see some dimes. And him and Tyler Warren did have some connections in the first game. I'll say that.
That's good.
That's good. But I'd like to see more of that. I would like to see A.D. Mitchell catch some balls. That, again, some drops that he had were off of Daniel Jones. They were good balls. A.D. Mitchell just dropped them. So let's fix that. But the main thing I'm going to be paying attention to is that defensive line. I want to see if we see Leatu Latu out there. I want to see how the pass rush is working. How is that run defense working? because the Colts are going to have to, the AFC South has some mobile quarterbacks, so they're going to have to watch for that. Trevor Lawrence has been known to take off. Cam Ward will take off. CJ Stroud will take off. So they're going to have to, be able to contain that. Will they set the edge in the run game? They kind of struggled with that against the Ravens, which the Ravens were the best rushing team in football last year. So maybe that wasn't a great game to start it off on. And yeah, preseason is preseason, but I want to at least see that the scheme is showing indication of them being capable to do that. So that's what I'm going to be looking for the Colts. That quarterback situation, though, is just awful.
Daniel Jones, though, I thought, and I didn't know what to think when you guys signed him. It wasn't like I ever thought he was a great quarterback to begin with. But I mean, last year he was like a little okay. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it was tough just because like the Giants were in a lot of close games last year, and then they just kind of fell short. And it's like, who do you blame for that? Do you blame how crazy the division was? I mean, their matchups weren't like they almost beat the Steelers, but the Steelers like clutched up at the end. So it's like, I mean, and the Steelers were home. So the Giants weren't bad in some aspects last year. They just fell very short in a lot of games. And do you blame Daniel Jones for that? Maybe, because you're looking at how he's playing in Indianapolis. He's not playing all that well.
I do blame Daniel Jones because that defense was quietly good last year.
Mm-hmm.
The people didn't talk about it a lot because of the record, but their defense was pretty good. If you give the Bengals the Giants defense last year, they win the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay. No kidding, dude. No kidding. You're acting that's like so. Yeah. I don't think people realize how good that Giants defense was last year. It was a very good defense. I mean, at first in the beginning of the season, it didn't look all that hot, but I mean, you're looking at the beginning of the season, they lost to the Vikings 28-6, which you're like, all right, 28-6. Vikings were good last year, okay, and it's 21-18 to the Commanders. They lose, and then they beat the Browns 21-15. They lose to the Cowboys 20-15. Seahawks they beat 29-20. Bengals game it was 17-7. High-powered offense.
That was an exciting shootout.
Yeah, Eagles. Yeah, I'm sure you enjoyed that game. Going back October, what were you doing October 13th, 2024? Were you enjoying that game?
That game was so boring for the longest time, and I was getting so annoyed. But
Eagles destroyed them 28-3, but once again, Eagles and Steelers Giants. It was 26-18. But that was a weird game just because there was some obscure, there was some pick sixes and different things that happened. Commanders 27-22, Panthers 20-17, Buccaneers 30-7. They lost 27-20, 14-11. I mean, some of these games were close, others weren't. I mean, definitely, I think the defense was definitely sneaky good. I felt like a lot of their teams that they played last year, unfortunately, were really good. I mean, they're kind of in a gauntlet last year. You have the Eagles, who both were really good. You have to play the Vikings. You have to play all these high-powered offenses. But this year, I think Washington will still be good. Dallas is probably coming down this year, and Eagles lost a lot of key pieces for their team too. So I think we're going to get to see a little bit more of the Giants shine this year, which is fine. Which is funny because it's not going to be with Daniel Jones. It's going to be with Russell Wilson
or Jameis Winston,
or
Jackson Dart.
Jackson Dart.
Wildcat formation, all three of them out there every snap. They won't have a running back ever.
Yeah, you just put all three of them out there, and then they just snap the ball to one of the quarterbacks every time. It's just 1, 2, 3, just every time.
Boom, easy money. I like it.
Seems like a good plan to me.
I don't see any issues with that.
No.
But okay, yeah, that's my thoughts on the Colts. Not very high on them this year. I know some people who have just said, I'm not even going to try. We've talked about the marketability issue already on last week. So,
Jonathan Taylor, forgot to include him as a top running back.
See?
Yeah, as we talk about it, I'm like, oh yeah, the Colts just kind of exist to me. Like I said, they just kind of exist. They have some good players. They just kind of exist though. because they need something. They need something. When you talk about
Should I mail you this so you can remember him?
Yeah, I'll put it right on my my screen, my computer screen.
There you go. But yeah, Indianapolis Colts, they're not super impressive to me right now, but we'll see what happens. Crazier, it's the NFL. Crazier things have occurred in turnarounds, but
all right.
Yeah. Then finally, my Bengals play prime time preseason football Monday night against the Commanders. I think it's Monday it'll come across here on the
probably like 4:30 or something.
No, it's like 8 p.m. Yep, right there, 8 p.m. Bengals at Commanders. So let's go over some of the stuff we've heard from practice this week from the Bengals reporters. Apparently, Shamar Stewart was getting a little chippy this morning with Lucas Patrick, our offensive guard. They got into a little bit of a scuffle.
Oh,
and TJ Slayton, he said it was just wanted some extra hugs. It was all love. So we're all good. We're all good. I kind of like that energy though. Maybe not necessarily a good look out of the rookie, but I like that they're passionate,
Right.
So that we're just gonna chalk it up to passion. Shamar Stewart's been looking real good though. He has been looking great. TJ Slayton's been looking pretty good too. Now, the other side of that is it just the offensive line playing bad in practice? Or is this defensive line actually improved? Is it upgraded? We'll have to see, in a regular season game. Obviously, we can see a little bit in the preseason like we talked about, but, the energy is just higher when it matters. Preseason, it's like, okay, I'm trying to show off, but the energy's not the same. It's not a must-win situation as much as what for guys like Shamar Stewart, because he knows he's not going to get cut.
Right.
So I guess I just want to see more of the defensive line. I actually liked how the starting offensive line played last week against the Eagles. I thought Dylan Fairchild played really well. On his left side, next to Orlando Brown and Ted Karras. Lucas Patrick played okay. Would like to see him play a little bit better. The concerning thing is for me, though, and I talked about this in my winners and losers video, when Lucas Patrick came out and Cody Ford went in, it was very obvious. Like, it was very noticeable. They didn't announce it or anything, but you just saw players were getting through quicker on that right side. And you don't want, let's say Lucas Patrick is here. You don't want your gap to drop down to here, especially with Lucas Patrick being older and having an injury history. So it's concerning to me that jump occurred so much. I do think Cody Ford can play better than what he did. We saw a lot of Cody Ford last year due to injuries. And I think he can be better than what we saw, but I need him to show that. I need it to be shown in the present and not being graded based on the past as much. Because, the past is in the past, right? If Joe Burrow gets sacked today, a protection from yesterday isn't going to help him. So that's something I'm going to be paying close attention to, is that offensive line and how the depth kind of shows up. I still think the Bengals need to sign Brandon Scherff. I don't know if Scherff isn't talking with teams because he doesn't want to go through training camp or what's happening, but there are not a ton of guards left in free agency. And Brandon Scherff is about the only one that's worth signing that could help the Bengals at this point. So they have also talked about moving Jalen Rivers into guard, into tackle. He's kind of played both sides. But, I don't want to rely on that, right? He's a rookie. He's I think, 5th-round rookie.
You're not going to rely on him.
Well, I'm fine with playing him. I'd love for him to earn a spot. That's awesome. If you can get your 5th-round rookie a starting spot, But if he doesn't develop, and that's what you're hinging everything on, that's a problem.
Right.
There was a conversation today. I forget what the show's called. Louis Riddick's on it. He's the one who brought it up. Is Joe Burrow, or are the Bengals wasting Joe Burrow? And Louis Riddick said, in terms of Super Bowls and achievements, yes. Now, my clap back to that would be, okay, then what are the Bills and the Ravens doing with Lamar and Josh Allen?
Has Burrow won an MVP?
Burrow has not won an MVP, but he's been to a Super Bowl.
Right. I was just wondering.
No. Yeah, he should have won it last year, but apparently if you have a
9-8
records apparently go into that now all of a sudden, but whatever.
I mean, they did, kind of.
I made a whole.
They didn't make playoffs and stuff. So
I made a whole rant video about that because I was dumb. But anyway, I think the Bills have tried to build around Josh Allen, and the Ravens have tried to build around Lamar more than what the Bengals. You could argue the Bengals have for Joe Burrow, but the fact is, of those three quarterbacks, only one of them has been to a Super Bowl. Just saying.
Right.
I think every Bengals fan would love to see the Bengals invest more in the team. Would love to see them go harder into free agency. Like I just said.
Yeah. I mean, if it's anybody but the Chiefs, please just get somebody else in there. And if it's you guys, just get you guys in there. Jeez Louise.
Sign Brandon Scherf. It's annoying to see all these great free agents sign with other teams for cheaper. Right? Like Jair Alexander, if he stays healthy, that's a great signing for Baltimore. But I don't know. Offensive line is the big thing for me right now. I think the defense will figure itself out and be at least mediocre. But if Joe Burrow goes down, nothing else matters. You could have but you could have. I don't know if Jake Browning with a mediocre defense works out well. I mean, Jake Browning didn't look good in the first preseason game.
I wouldn't have known.
He didn't. He looked awful. Desmond Ridder outperformed him.
Away. I have been waiting on my dynasty bench just in case Joe Burrow gets hurt again.
Well, I don't like that, but
I mean, just in case. I mean, I probably wouldn't use him. I probably still won't. I'm just. Just have him sitting there just in case.
I just want to see. I want to see the defensive line step up and get some. They got some pressures last week. I'd like to see, which pressures are good, pressures are great, but I'd like to see them finish and get some sacks as well.
Right.
Especially Shamar Stewart if he plays. I'd like to see him get some sacks. Because that was his big thing coming out of college was he gets pressures, but he doesn't get sacks. Okay, well, let's start getting some sacks. And what I really liked was we all know Trey Hendrickson isn't practicing right now. I think everyone and their mother knows that at this point. But he was helping Shamar Stewart. He was at practice. He was helping him with technique. They were on the sidelines working through stuff together, doing form stuff. He was showing him different moves to do, like different swim moves, bull rushes, stuff like that. So that's good. That's what I want out of Trey Hendrickson. And that's what makes Trey Hendrickson so great is even when he's not happy with the team, he's still going to do what is best for the team.
Right.
And so that's the type of player he is. I'm not saying this is like a slight at all. I honestly don't know. I don't know if Cam Hayward has been doing the same thing. Is Cam Hayward still practicing?
No.
So I don't know.
Is very limited. I mean, I just know he's still in a contract dispute because he wants to get paid more money this season. Even though he only has 2 years on his contract, he wants more of a front-loaded deal this year than next year. And I don't think the Steelers want to give him that money just because of the risk of injury and all of those other things. And a lot of reconstruction just doesn't really make a lot of sense. And he wants paid more. I don't. It's really weird. I feel like in some aspects, it's kind of odd to see with Cam Hayward just because it's Walter Payton Man of the Year. Demanding more money just doesn't doesn't seem right. I don't know. It doesn't seem like in the interviews and stuff he wants to go through the process anyway of wanting more money. But at that point, I'm like, why ask for it then? In my opinion, so it's a weird thing over there. But yeah, that's still an uncertainty over there too. Saw him briefly at a training camp, but yeah, I don't believe he was in pads or anything. So.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, again, that wasn't a slight towards Cam Hayward, but I mean, it's just big when those veterans are still there and helping the young guys. That's all I was getting at there. So, again, would love to see the Bengals get that extension done with Trey. Would love to see that defense. I'm going to be paying attention to the lines, maybe a little bit to the corners, but I'm sure those coverages will get figured out. Joe Burrow is going to be Joe Burrow, though, so
right,
we're good there at the quarterback position. Something though that just popped up here on my Twitter feed: Shedeur Sanders. I think I've got a picture of him here. Actually, we can pull up. I was prepared for today. Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah.
He, according to Ian Rappaport, further medical testing and examination on Shedeur Sanders revealed an oblique strain. He is considered day-to-day. He won't practice tomorrow and is unlikely to play in Saturday's game against the Eagles.
Oh, that's tough.
So the Browns had released their second depth chart, and I thought, to give him credit, he did play well against in their first preseason game. I forget who that was against, but they did play well, but he was still fourth on the depth chart.
Yeah, I just think the Browns didn't change their depth chart at all. Their quarterback depth chart. It is if you go back and you look at the quarterback depth chart in week 1 for preseason, it is the same one going into this week. And honestly, I find like that kind of weird, just because like he did so well and you have a lot of hype surrounding him now. I mean, he's all over social media because of how well he played. And I don't see why you wouldn't bump him up to 2 or 3, maybe not permanently, but just to see what he's got. Because obviously you have to assume that, you know what you got with Kenny Pickett, but like you want to move around with some of these guys and see what they can do. But I mean, I just thought it was really interesting. They put him on 4th again, but it's pretty much just how we thought it was going to be. I mean, I believe the other quarterback is Dylan Gabriel.
Dylan Gabriel was 3rd, I believe.
Yeah, so it goes Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders. That is their quarterback depth chart as of this moment. And I just always have found it fascinating that they're gonna run with Flacco. I can't see them running with Pickett. It looks like the Cleveland team wants Flacco to start, so it wouldn't be Pickett anyway. And then they literally have another rookie quarterback ahead of him. And that's only based on the fact that he got drafted higher than Shedeur. I don't know how well Gabriel played in last week's preseason game because nobody's really talking about Gabriel's performance. They're talking about Shedeur's, which I don't blame them. But it's just because it's quite the story, because he got drafted so low. He was projected to be a top first round pick, and then him falling all the way to the 5th. I just always thought that was interesting. So that's why it's a lot more prominent that people are talking about that. I don't know though. I think
it's weird.
It is very interesting. It's very complicated. I'll say it and everyone can yell at me for it, but once again, I would love to see what he would do during a regular season game in comparison to preseason, because it just feels like I just don't want Cleveland fans to get too excited about the guy if he ends up turning into a Kenny Pickett or something. I don't imagine he will, because the way that he was moving and stuff, he was doing some really good plays, but he had some good tight touchdowns as well. So he definitely has potential and whatnot, but I would love to see him perform in a regular season game if given the opportunity, in case Flacco goes down or isn't performing well. But more than likely, he probably won't even get to see the light of day this season. And that's sad to say, just because like if the quarterback depth chart stays the same, I mean, Shedeur's not going to get cut, but like you go into the season, if the Browns actually run with 4 quarterbacks, you're going to have Joe Flacco. If he stinks or if he ends up getting hurt, it's going to be Kenny Pickett. If Kenny Pickett gets hurt or stinks, we'll just either one, and then if it goes to the next one, it's going to be Dylan Gabriel. It's not even going to probably be Shador, which is really, really interesting because, but, I would just love to see how he would do in a regular season game, but I just don't know if we're going to, I don't know. I know it's weird to say, but I don't know if we're really ever going to see him play in a regular season game as of this moment, just because if he's fourth quarterback on the Browns depth chart, where is he going to be in like some of these other rotations? Like
Gabriel didn't even play versus the Panthers. I just looked it up to make sure. Yeah, Gabriel.
Interesting. Okay.
So Shador had a great game versus the Panthers in their first preseason game. Objectively good game. Like even on film, he looked good. I'm not just looking at his box stats. Gabriel didn't play, so he's kind of a question mark. I'd say he's a neutral. But I would think with Shador being a positive and then Gabriel being a neutral, you would move him up to 3. And then if you play Gabriel and Gabriel just looks amazing,
bump him back up to 3. I mean, Shador's not playing this week. So, I mean, you give that opening to Gabriel to play. I don't know. I just thought it was really strange.
They got something weird going on in Cleveland because, I mean, you already know, like you said, Joe Flacco is going to be 1. Kenny Pickett's going to be 2. I would just play Gabriel and Shador in preseason and then figure out which of them you want to keep or if you want to keep 4 quarterbacks, I guess you can, and then Deshaun Watson's there still too. And then Snoop Huntley. But I don't know. They got a lot going on. They got a lot to figure out there in that
Cleveland's
quarterback.
Still going to be in last. I don't. It doesn't matter. I mean, even with whoever's throwing the ball, I just can't see any of these quarterbacks being the answer this season. Not because none of them are going to be good. I'm just saying that Cleveland has a lot to do before they have a winning football team. So.
Well, Myles Garrett re-signed there because they're going to win a Super Bowl. So.
Which maybe they will. I mean, maybe they will, but I think that they need some other wide receiver help. I think they need some offense help just in general. I think they need some other defensive player help. I think they need to figure out who they want to run with as quarterback because Joe Flacco is not the answer long term. Deshaun Watson is not the answer long term. If you're going to invest in one of your rookies, you got to invest in either Gabriel or Shador, and you got to figure out who it's going to be. And they're right now, they have no idea because they're not moving them up the depth chart. So,
I mean, Kevin Stefanski's a smart coach, so I'd imagine he has some idea, but they're just not telling us, and I don't know why they're not giving any indication, especially if you want the media to shut up about it, because the media is just going to run with this, especially with Shador. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, but yeah, he's likely not going to play in their game against the Eagles this Saturday. He's got that oblique injury, but that's it. We filled almost an entire hour.
Isn't that something? I told you if we just yapped long enough, we'd make it to an hour.
Thank you, Taylor Swift. And
Taylor Swift took up like a whole 10-minute segment. So
shout out Taylor Swift.
Right.
Chus's favorite artist.
I have nothing against her. I just don't know much of her music other than the radio hits.
Okay.
So I don't know her eras or whatever they're called.
Let's the next one is The Life of a Showgirl. So
era.
Start there.
Showgirl era.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it's called? The Showgirl era?
I think so. I don't really know either, but I know more than you. And right now, that's all that matters.
I guess I know. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, have at it, Mr. Swifty.
Mr. Swifty. All righty. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps us out. It does a ton for the channel. It does a ton for us as well. If you can't do that, that's fine too. Thanks for joining us. We will have Jesse James Taylor on this show eventually, whether it be later this week, whether it be next week. I don't know. He's got a very busy schedule, but we will figure it out. Merch links are in bio if you would like to support the show, help us continue to grow, help us to spread the good word, spread some positivity. We appreciate every single one of you. But until next time, for Chus, I'm Josh Butts. Go do something nice for someone.